So, hi, Pat. Tell me
Hi,
what
Doctor.
you've got going on, why you've come to seek out some talking with me.
Well, I, I'm struggling a little bit. So it's just a lot going on. I just don't. It's mostly school. As you probably remember, I'm in pre-med at Tufts.
Oh, yeah, that's all in your paperwork.
Um, it's hard. I had a lousy fall.
Okay. Now, why was the fall so lousy?
It just seemed like I never had enough time to do everything. It seemed like I was being pulled in a lot of different directions. Honestly, I'm questioning pre-med. Do I really want to become a doctor? So going to school, going to class, isn't as exciting as it was last year.
Yeah, I can see that. And do you have other interests that you want to explore? Something else pulling you, or is it just?
Sometimes I just want to go hang out with my buddy Jack.
Okay.
Of course, when I go home for the weekends, like the holidays, it's not my grades are the problem.
Okay. What's the problem at home?
Well, Dad, and I don't blame him. He sort of invested in my education. So when he looked at my transcript from this fall, he got kind of pissed.
Okay. What was the matter? Why was he so angry?
Well, he always wanted to be a doctor.
Okay.
So I should be able to get, grades and become a doctor, and I know I can, but I'm not sure I want to.
Okay.
And then that, of course, upsets Lee.
Now, who's Lee?
Oh, Lee's my girlfriend.
Oh, that's right. I see here. Okay, so Lee. And so tell me about Lee.
So she's great. We have so much fun together. But she wants to be married to the doctor. She wants to be married to, Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, right.
And sometimes, when I don't do well in school, I hear it from her. But then on Friday night, when I want to just have a good time, she wants me to stay with her. I sort of can't seem to satisfy everybody.
Right. Is there something else? Is there anything else that's bothering you? Is it really just your dad, and the pre-med is getting on you?
Dad's definitely.
Let's talk a little bit more about your dad. Tell me. So he's an insurance salesman?
Yeah, he's an insurance salesman. He works all the time.
Yeah.
Like when I was a kid, he was always at a conference. Always had an important call.
Yeah.
Always was, busy.
Selling, busy with people.
But we always had great stuff. He provided for us, and I'm at Tufts, and that was great. Mom stayed at home.
Yeah.
And
how's your relationship with her?
She's great. She loves me.
Yeah. As we tend to love our sons, right?
I probably take advantage of Mom a little bit, honestly, but at the same time, she wants me to be happy.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, I told, when we had this sort of little blowout this Christmas, I told her about my interest in art school.
Okay.
I really love art, right?
Yeah.
When I was in Capri, I fell in love with the Cézanne painting.
Oh, yeah.
And my mom sort of went down memory path for herself, and she told the story about how, when she was in English in high school, her English teacher said she had a flair for writing, and she should become an English teacher or go into journalism.
Yeah.
And she never did. She stayed at home to be with us, and I think she regrets that.
Okay.
So when I started talking about maybe pre-med isn't for me, it felt like she was going to take my side for a few minutes, but that's not what happened.
Okay. So I get the feeling that you really do love your parents, and you really want to please them, do right by them. They've taken good care of you and everything. Tell me about, so Lee really wants you to be just with her.
She does. She's pretty demanding. I would say possessive at times.
Okay.
That can be frustrating.
I bet. It sounds like you're resentful of her wanting to be with you all the time.
Is that okay to say?
This is your time. Anything is okay to say here. It's totally safe, and you don't have to.
At times, I would say yes. Even with Dad, like the fact that he wants me to be a doctor. What about me? What if I don't want to be a doctor?
So how are we? So I guess what I'd like for you to look at is to see, are there any relationships or any similarities between your relationship with your dad and Lee? Because it sounds like you really want to be with Lee. You love her, or you care for her, and you really seem to love and care for your dad. But do you see any similarities or patterns emerging in your?
I feel like I can't satisfy them, right? So resentful is probably the right word. There are times in which they want me to be something I sometimes don't want to be.
Mm-hmm. And right now, you want to be what?
I really thought I just wanted to go hang out with Jack. Jack's my
And
buddy.
Jack's
He
your
works at a
buddy.
gas station.
Yeah, and he's
But
happy.
We have a great time.
Right.
And I'm thinking maybe I should just get a job like this.
Right.
And then 3 days later, I couldn't hang out with Jack. He called me up, and the same thing happened. I was like, why is he demanding me of my time?
Okay.
It was kind of... I felt like I was talking to my father for a second. I said, Jack.
Yeah. So, is there something that you can do in the next few weeks to sort of make you happy? Because you've used some negative, feelings. So resentful, frustrated, uninterested perhaps in medicine.
Well, that's why I came here. I mean, I called you.
Yeah.
I got to figure this out.
Yeah. Have you talked to your dad about this?
That's what I have to do.
I think maybe that might be a good step between our next meeting, and I think a next meeting is warranted for you to come back.
How do I start that conversation?
Well, let's talk about something that you liked to do with your dad when you were younger. Maybe you went to ball games. Maybe you went to the beach. Okay, so fishing. So that's it. Maybe give him a ring and say you're going to come home for the weekend and you go fishing.
Yeah.
I've noticed that in my practice. I've noticed that men, tend to talk better when they're doing rather than when they're just sitting here, whereas women will sit and chat over a cup of coffee. Many times, typically, men like to be active, and then they sort of talk. It gives them sort of freedom to talk. So maybe you should try that.
Okay.
And see if you can broach the subject of med school versus art school. Remember, you're only 23, 24.
I know. And these applications are due in April.
What do you think? Should you fill out the art applications?
I want to.
Then you should. You should go with that, and then you can talk to him when you're fishing and see what he says.
All right, I'll try.
Approach that, and then on your way out, make another appointment, and we'll follow up with that. But come with that having done in another couple weeks.
All right, thank you.
Okay. All right.
I'll try.
Be well.